Hey, paisans, the time has come. On the air since 2009, the independently produced, non-FCC compliant champ of video game talk podcasting. Here comes Tiger Claw Radio. Here's your host, Critical Failure.
What's going on, everybody? This is Critical Failure, and you are listening to Tiger Claw Radio. Yes, friends, time for another episode. This has been quite a week for me here, being able to dig in and enjoy some video games. Really just getting back into having time for video games, and to be perfectly honest with you, I keep talking about cleaning house, all the things I'm getting rid of. But now that I've gotten rid of things, it's been great to, start setting my sights on more things that I can acquire. Let us make the same mistake again and become a hoarder. Because that's really the only way to treat video games, isn't it? But all that and more later. Some things I said goodbye to, and what I have my sights set on next, and some chiptunes, because chiptunes, right? We didn't really do chiptunes last episode. So the first thing we're going to go play is one off of Chip Love that I think was requested by our good buddy Hamrock last week, and I didn't play it because I forgot to, and that's okay. You're listening to Tiger Claw Radio. Stick with us. That is Moonlight Ribbon Castle from LFOB. That came off the Chiptune compilation album entitled Chip Love Volume 1, which is a couple of years old now. The release date is from 2018, and it's the last thing they came out with. If you go back through their archive as a net label, there were some really sweet compilations leading up to that really being their big blowout, and then I don't know what happened after that. But this is a group that was worth looking up to see what they did. So one of the things I have set up for this episode was I got that compilation again so we could listen to that track, but then I also got something called From Europe with Love, which is one of their older compilations. It has a few less songs on it, but some more stuff for us to explore. So we're going to check out some of those tracks a little bit later on. So I did have sort of a van cast kind of thing, but I was doing more than one thing at once, and I don't think it came out very well. It also happens that I have all the bullet points here, so I'm just going to go over them again real quick. So among the things that I got rid of in my game collection to make room for new things, I was really setting my sights on things that I had no interest in playing ever, that my kids also had no interest in. And there was a surprising amount of that. I have no interest in my free ROM hacks for the NES. Good games, not interested in playing them on the hardware. And I know I've gone through these on the air before, but they are Some Usual Day, which is a Super Mario Bros. 3 ROM hack. Great ROM hack. If you're into ROM hacks, that is worth downloading and playing, but not on the official hardware if there's no save feature. My copy doesn't have a battery, so even though there's a save feature coded in, my cartridge doesn't function. I'm selling it, so that's going to go. Also, Super Luigi Bros., which I know there is a high-quality Super Luigi Bros. Game out there. That's not what this one was. This one only has 4 custom levels, and the graphics are all glitchy and terrible. Cart was made beautifully, but the game's really doo-doo. I'm letting that one go for pretty cheap as well. And then the third game is... probably the one I'm most conflicted over is The Adventures of Lolo. You know that game? It's not The Adventures of Lolo, it's Challenging Lolo. Beautiful cart, and it's the only cart of the 3 that was actually made with donor hardware. So this is the shell is an officially made NES shell. I don't know how I feel about that. It looks nicer, but I don't like the idea of having to butcher the old NES games just to make physical ROM hacks. Yeah, but Lolo's a great game, and this is a great ROM hack, but it's, it's one of these games that's designed to be played with save states in mind. So I like it. I had some fun with it. I played it for a couple of afternoons. I'm never going back to play it again. I might play the ROM hack again, but it's going to be on my emulator, with save states where I really stand a chance. Great game, though, and I know there's people out there who would love to have it. And another thing about ROM hacks is unless you're paying to get them to come from AliExpress, where it takes a couple of months, like if you buy one from a United States vendor, it usually costs a pretty penny. So I set like a nice reasonable price. I think I'm letting that one go for like $7 or $8. And yeah, hopefully it'll land in the hands of somebody who really digs it. So those are 3 ROM hacks that I'm letting go. But ROM hacks are something that I really, really like. I mean, there's really, really good ones out there. There are a few select ones that I wouldn't mind having physical copies of. Oh, by the way, I used to also have a copy of Rockman No Constancy, which was a Mega Man ROM hack, a pretty quality Mega Man ROM hack. Beautiful cartridge. Actually, there's nothing wrong with that game at all. The only reason why I don't have it anymore is because I met somebody who was just starting to collect for the NES, somebody I worked with at the time, and I had this ROM hack that I didn't pay a lot for. I think I paid like $10 or $11 for it. And I was like, hey man, you're just starting out. You like, cool stuff. Have this game. And I gave it to him. And I don't regret it because that's an awesome game. And I can get it again very easily by waiting another 2 months to have it come over from AliExpress. So I might get Rockman No Constancy again, but that's not on my list of 3 games that I wanted to go over. We have 3 ROM hacks that I can think of right now worth getting physical copies of. And as I'm reading these off, I can think of more, but this is what I have on my list. Number 1, Roll Chan 1 through 6 in a pink cart. Let me explain. One of the difficulties with these ROM hacks is, high difficulty games, you play on original hardware, it can be pretty tough. But Mega Man 1 through 6 are tried and true classics. They were hacked to replace Rockman with Roll Chan. Very simple. It's the same games, just a little bit of sprite work done, and then you have a 1 through 6 multi-cart that's done with a pink shell. It looks really, really cool, and it's like $13. I had my eyes set on this when I stopped collecting, I think, for the NES. And now that I've made some room, I think I might go back and get it. Roll Chan 1 through 6. As a matter of fact, one of my greatest NES memories as an adult, I'm not talking about greatest all time, but I mean greatest as an adult, was playing through Mega Man 3. Okay? This was... my oldest son was maybe like 1 or something, so this is probably like almost 10 years ago. We had a great big projection screen TV in our house at the time. Some of my early collection videos, you can see that TV. But I had my NES set up to this old projection screen TV, and I had a notebook that I would use to write down the passwords. And late at night, when my family went to sleep, I would turn on Mega Man 3, and I would rumble, man. I would rumble. I remember those nights very well. And again, stories, I'll tell these stories as long as I know video game people. This is a story that's going to get told over and over again. but I clearly remember it took me a while to be able to get to a Robot Master because I found the levels in Mega Man 3 pretty difficult. But when the night that I first got to like Snake Man and Needle Man, I remember feeling like I was walking into the room with the actual Needle Man and Snake Man, and a legendary rumble was about to take place. Because again, big screen projection TV, man. Okay, I know you can get a great big screen like that now for like a couple $100 or whatever, and it's not such a big deal. But 10, 15 years ago, whatever it was, those old projection screen TVs, if you had one of those, you know, that was like the top of the line stuff once upon a time. That was like only big time football fans had those, you know, for their game day setups. So I thought it was cool to be able to play NES on one of those in the middle of the night and face off against the legendary Robot Masters of Mega Man 3 when I was only half awake. That special moment where tiredness sets in and reality and fantasy start to blur together. Yes, that was a great time. That really was a great time. Yeah, and I'm thinking back, I don't know if I've approached a Mega Man game quite as seriously as I did on that Mega Man 3 run. So I want to get this Roll Chan 1 through 6 card, and I want to play Roll Chan 3 and kind of go back to those days. Wow, that's one of the 3 games that I've gone over, is Roll Chan 1 through 6. That's the one I probably want the most. I also would like to have a copy of Contra Revenge of the Red Falcon. This is a high difficulty Contra ROM hack that Sendu showed me AliExpress with this game. This was, you know, a couple years back. He was like, "Hey man, you can get this game for like $6 from AliExpress." And I never, what's AliExpress? Of course, at the time I didn't have $6, but Contra is a game that I love, that I haven't played many ROM hacks of. But that is one. So Contra Revenge of the Red Falcon. And then finally, of course, Rockman Exile. Right? High difficulty Mega Man 2 ROM hack. But I played that one enough on an emulator that I knew it pretty well at one time. I would love to have that in my collection. My old Rockman Exile videos are still up on YouTube. They did pretty well, I mean, at least by my standards. So I always kind of told myself one day I'd go back and play it again. But I don't have my old save state. I'd have to kind of get there to resume my playthrough. It's a good game. They did a good job with it. I was warned once upon a time to stay away from Mega Man 2 ROM hacks because Mega Man is an already super difficult game, and the ROM hacks have a habit of, you know, making things unfairly difficult. I guess it's true. They do that, but I went for them anyway, and you know what? I'm glad I did. I had a good time with them. If I were to add anything to this list, it would probably be Castlevania ROM hacks. I did a video for a couple of Castlevania ROM hacks, probably back in 2011 or so, or late 2010. This is like the end of my run with RetroWare TV, back when they were like a site that commanded respect. I can't think of what the names of the games are off the top of my head, though, which bothers me. It's like Chorus of Mystery and like Blood Moon or something like that. I don't know, but I know Castlevania has some really rad ROM hacks out there. So those are just a few, you know. They are what they are. ROM hacks are a ubiquitous part of gaming, especially retro gaming. You have to get down with emulation, either emulation or reproduction cartridges. So there's always this little sort of overtone of like something kind of shady going on when it comes to ROM hacks. Especially, you know, there's licensing issues, of course, but I don't know, man. When it comes to ROM hacks, it's just the infinite creativity and the open culture jam that's happening is just too. The pull is just too strong. Do you know what I mean? It's vaporwave music in video game form. That's what ROM hacks are. That's good. Got my English breakfast tea here from Trader Joe's at 9:03 p.m. because I want to stay up late tonight. All right. Should we check out Chip Love again? I think so. let's check out this compilation From Europe with Love. This only has 10 songs on it, and I haven't checked it out yet, so I'm going to dig through it. I'll find something good. Stick with us. You're listening to Tiger Claw Radio. That's Volt Kid with Let's Go Home Now. If you want to get a copy of that, head over to Bandcamp and look up Chip Love. That's off the compilation From Europe with Love. Pretty good track, I must say. Thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly impressed. Okay, we have had Super Mario fever in my house for the past, I don't know, few months or so. All through summer, it seems. And I'm going to go into detail on that in just a minute. But first and foremost, I want to take a minute to thank the sponsors. This is a Patreon-sponsored program, and these individuals, despite all odds, have kept us running week after week after week, month after month. So I tip my hat to you, gentlemen, and I offer early access to the show as soon as it gets done. I put it up so you can hear it, and then I also read the names of the contributors off in Hall of Distinguished Gentlemen. They are Hemrock, EmeraldRangers.com, Tecmo Balls, Darabka, Konstantin Kelman, and Eric Kentroller. Thank you guys so much. I hope you're enjoying the party. Mario Fever. It's happening in my house. So what's going on? All right. My kids like to watch Let's Plays on their tablets. we don't let them loose on YouTube because YouTube is the Wild West, and there's a lot of terrible stuff on YouTube. But they do have some limited access to Amazon, and some of the savvy Let's Players who do work-safe content, family-friendly content, who stay away from the bad weeds, they also upload their stuff on Amazon. So they're able to watch quite a few Let's Plays that way. And my son in particular has been into watching Let's Plays of Mario Maker 2. That's what he likes the most is Mario Maker 2. But they've branched out and looked at all sorts of Mario related content, and consequently they're getting up on this stuff in a way that I am not. Like, my daughter is making references to Mario RPG, which I never really got into. I don't know much about Mario RPG at all, but she's like she's like referencing characters that I don't get, and like, hey, remember that thing when this happened and that and the other thing happened? Nah, I really don't. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So that, but more than that is Mario 64. She watched, I can't remember if my son watched it or not, but I know my daughter watched an entire playthrough of Mario 64, and then my son was asking about that game just a little while ago. So I haven't played Mario 64 in quite a while, but I did rumble hard with that game in adulthood. Around that same time I played Mega Man 3, I was telling you earlier. That was shortly after that we got the Wii, and one of the Wii games that I bought was Super Mario 64 off the Virtual Console. And now at the time, when the Wii was still active with online services, the Nintendo channel would keep track of how long you played each game in total. So I was able to figure out that I spent about 30 hours or so in Mario 64. In my opinion, that's a pretty good run for a $10 game, which was what they charged for it at the time. But again, years and years and years ago, and my kids have been talking about it, and I actually sat down and watched. It's kind of a stretch for me, but I watched a video on speedrunning tactics for Mario 64. Now, speedrunners are a different breed of gamer, in my opinion. They goals are different. What they expect out of their gaming sessions is completely different. What they're willing to do and learn is completely different. It's a different thing. So when you watch speedrunners play a game that you like, sometimes it can be an unsettling experience. Now, this was mostly positive. The particular video I was watching focused on one star in particular in the Thwomp level towards the beginning, the Thwomp's Fortress, where you have to use the cannon and smash into the wall. You break the wall, and there's a star there. They figured out a way where you can get the star without breaking the wall using a precision jump. And so they were using all these crazy frame-perfect precision jumps in this video, and I just thought, wouldn't it be nice to play that game like the right way again? It's been so many years. So yeah, I kind of feel like playing Mario 64 again. Now, in the actual Mario, like what I've actually been spending time on is I started playing through Mario Brothers 3 a couple nights ago. My son was like, hey, why don't you play Mario 3? And okay, I can beat Mario 3 in like 30 to 45 minutes or whatever it is. We'll give it a shot. And so away we went. Good old Mario 3. Now, when I was little, we had a subscription to Nintendo Power. I was very little at the time, so there's not a whole lot that I remember from the Nintendo Power magazines, except that they came with posters that I never was able to use myself. And early on, the first actual magazine that we got a hold of was the complete strategy guide for Super Mario Brothers 3. Do you guys remember this? I know that someone in this crowd will know what I'm talking about. There was a strategy guide for Mario 3, like an official Nintendo Power strategy guide, and it was the first time I'd ever seen something like a strategy guide before. It was pretty definitive. Like, it had the names of enemies, and like I remember thinking that it had weird lore bits that were not in the instruction manual. Like, it was a really cool book. But because we had it, we were able to figure out some pretty obscure tricks for Mario Brothers 3 even before the internet, right? Like, now you can look all that stuff on GameFAQs or YouTube or whatever. You have been able to for years, but not back then. So my son's watching me play Mario Brothers 3. You know, good old vanilla NES Mario Brothers 3. And I'm doing, let's see, the coin trick, or the coin ship trick in the first world, where if you get an amount of coins that's divisible by 11, and then you get the 10th digit in your score is equal to the same amount. So if you get like 22 coins, and then the last editable digit in your score is 2, then you finish the level on an even number, and then it'll turn the, like on the clock, and it'll turn the Hammer Brother into a coin ship. So I don't know how you ever figured that out. Well, you know, they used to put obscure things in there. Also the card flip game, playing the old card flip game, knowing the answers to what was in the card flip game. Cool stuff. That was a game that I remember an awful lot about. Had that one on the Wii as well. The old Virtual Console. This was a big topic in the early years of TCR because they had such an opportunity, and I always felt like they dropped the ball so hard. But the reality is, at least compared to now, what they're doing with these old classic games, the Virtual Console did a lot of good. I mean, they had, for better or for worse, you could legally get yourself some good old classic games to play with a good quality controller on your TV before, you know, at a time when there was no Raspberry Pi, right? There was no Ouya either at that time. So that really was the definitive way to play an old Nintendo game if you didn't have it on your actual Nintendo. Yeah, so it was good times. My Wii actually still gets some use. I kind of wish I had bought more games for it in those days. Because I've got like 2 pages, you know, like with the little screens, the channels. I've got like maybe 2 pages worth, you know, because I've got like a couple of N64 games. And then I got a couple of native WiiWare games, and that's really all the space can handle. I didn't buy a bunch of Nintendo games, so I didn't get to have the whole 4 and 5 plus screens of games like you see on YouTube. I never got that. Yeah, fun system. So yeah, we've had a bit of the Mario fever going on, which has been fun. I've been enjoying that. All right, how we doing here? I feel like I just came back from Tangent Land. I don't even know where that went. Somewhere good, I hope. 28 minutes? That's not so bad. Sendu. My good buddy Sendu. One of the things I've been talking about, because I wanted to do sort of a jumbo episode, was get Sendu on here. Now, I've been going back and forth with old Sendu on Twitter, off and on this week, whenever I find time. We've had some difficulty getting a meeting scheduled, but we are going to do this. I'm definitely determined to have Sendu back on again. It's just you know, we got to check in, man. It's been a couple of years since we've done something like this. It's time. Yeah, excuse me, bit my tongue. It's time. So in preparation for that, now originally, I think when the idea was hatched, it was pitched as something to do for a Sonic anniversary. Now, look, I like Sonic, but I'm not as knowledgeable as most people when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog. I didn't like Sonic very much when I was a kid. I've got a few really good memories of playing as a kid. I didn't hate it, but it was me and my buddy NG growing up. I was clearly the Mario fan, and he was, for the most part, the Sonic fan. But I got into Sonic hard for a while in my college years. So that's where Sendu and I connect. He was able to direct me to a lot of the Sonic the Hedgehog ROM hacks that I like so much. As a matter of fact, the first Sonic the Hedgehog physical cartridge I got was one that he sent me. He was just like, hey man, it's all yours. You can have this. So give me a second. I'm opening up Fusion now. So I started playing a Sonic the Hedgehog ROM hack recently, just to try and get back in that headspace a little bit. Is this actually recording? For some reason, I'm thinking it might not be. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, to try and get back in that headspace a little bit. And what I ended up playing, by sheer chance, was a game called The Lost Worlds. Sonic the Hedgehog, The Lost Worlds. Starts out in kind of a sand-type world. And I liked it because it plays convincingly vanilla in terms of graphics. You're still playing as Sonic the Hedgehog. The mechanics are still what you'd expect them to be. I don't know enough about the series to tell you if the monsters are new or not, but if they are new, they blend in perfectly. But a high-quality ROM hack, for sure. For sure. The difficulty was a little high. I didn't get very far. But, man, I had fun with it. Give me a second. Ugh. Ugh. This is an old podcasting trope that I've done many times on the air. Admittedly, this is something I did back in the old days when I was grasping at straws. Now I'm not necessarily grasping at straws. This is just the place I want to go. Think of it like On the Desk, the old On the Desk segment. Trying to get back in the Sega Genesis headspace. What better way to do that than to get back into my physical Sega Genesis things? Okay. So, Sonic the Hedgehog. I've got a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog games. In particular, I wanted to take a look at the ROM hacks. Although, it might be worth it to try and sort all this stuff out. Sonic 3D Blast. Some of these I have more than once. Like, I've got the Sonic Classics cartridge, and I think that has Sonic 3D Blast, and then sure enough, there's Sonic 3D Blast. Sonic Spinball. Yeah, here we go. I've got the, believe it or not, so stupid. The old creepypasta Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, this is a cartridge that's worth taking a look at. This is one I should do a video about. There was a very popular creepypasta Sonic.exe type game for Windows many years ago. So, just to be clear on the chain of events, Windows game first, Sega Genesis cart second, Sega Genesis ROM hack second. So I got the ROM hack, which is a shortened version. That's one. Metal Sonic Hyperdrive. I always just know that one in my head as Metal Sonic, but this is the one I got from Sendu. I got to get that out. That was always my favorite. It wasn't the most played, but I enjoyed it the most. We played Sonic Classic Heroes the most in my house because the kids liked it because you had access to all three of the heroes, and they liked being able to float with Knuckles and whatnot. Cool game, but for my money, Metal Sonic all the way. So I got Sonic Classic Heroes, got Metal Sonic, got this weirdo Sonic EXE thing. What was the last one? The last one was one I was pretty proud of. Sonic 2, Sonic Spinball, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Classics. Come on, I know it's in this box. Maybe it isn't in this box. Did I take it out? Sonic Mega Mix? Was that it? I think it was Sonic Mega Mix. Hang on a second. Alright, now we enjoy a little game called CF Tries to Remember What Happened to His Things. By the way, I hate losing things. It's just something I have a hard time with. This is great, though, having the old Sega Genesis box open. Oh yeah, here it is. Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 2 Retro Remix. Yeah. That's another one I wouldn't mind playing again. They had more of like a... that one had more of a Nintendo 64 kind of vibe to it, where you had like a map screen, and in that map screen there were giant coins that would take you to levels, and you'd go to the levels looking for collectibles, and if you got enough collectibles it would open more of the game. Same way in Mario 64, you go find the stars. More stars you get, the more levels you can get into, and so on and so forth. Very same kind of deal, only done with Sonic the Hedgehog. Very, very, very well done. The only reason why the cartridge didn't fly far with me is because it's one that involves saving, and the cart that I have you can't save on. So I gotta find the ROM hack and play it that way. Gorgeous game, though. And I want to play Panorama Cotton again, too, because that is an awesome game. Oh my gosh, freaking Panorama Cotton. So stupid. Alright, where are we at now? My throat's starting to hurt. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Yeah, 35 minutes in. I think we're almost ready for failbag time. How are we doing? Whoa, is it hot? Are we doing okay? This is now being recorded the next night. My throat went out on me. I couldn't do any more last night. So we're gonna jump over to YouTube, do the failbag, put my ear to the ground, see what's going on with you folks out there this past week here in video gaming. So last week was 354, September Series 3. No, last was 355. Oh, I see. And this is a comment that came in after I read the last one. Yeah, okay, got it. Eric Controller says, great song at the beginning of the show. Really enjoyed that one. Sorry if I've been missing some of your shows, my good man, so forgive me when I ask about this. But I'm wondering what it is about September that makes you particularly busy. Has it something to do with your line of work? Yeah, it's my line of work combined with the fact that I have 3 kids. My youngest one is just over a year old. So we're constantly running in circles. And to be fair, this past September, the difficulty hasn't just been from the fact that it's September. It's also been the COVID kind of compounding down on me, because I do a lot of the podcasting during my commute. Got a smartphone. I got a nice piece of recording software. It was like $3 for a good working app. Talking to that thing for 20 minutes on the way to work, and there you go. Hence the term the Vancast. When we're in normal working order, when I sit down to do the podcast on Friday night, I've got 2 or 3 Vancasts. You know, I'm sitting on 40 minutes before I even get started. And not only do I have 40 minutes already, that's 40 minutes broken up into several bits that each time I turned on that recorder, I came to it fresh. And I was like, hey man, this is what I was thinking about last night. You know, one of the things I always like to do during the Vancast is set the stage so you can feel the podcast kind of change setting. It's like, all right, it is 6:20 in the morning. It's nice and frosty out on this fall day. Getting ready to drive to work. The sun's not up yet, which I like so very much, to be shrouded in darkness as I head off to the office. But now I'm back here in my home office, in my den. What some people, I hate this term. It's my man cave. People love their man caves. It's hot here. I've got a little, I guess this used to be a bedroom, so I've got like nice frillies on top of the mini blinds. I've got a couch here with boxes on it. I've got an old stereo that I've pieced together with a double cassette deck and an 8-track player. I've got a tower that I built 3 or 4 years ago with an AMD processor that burns hot. All the equipment in the room makes this room super heat, man. It gets really, really, really hot in here. And that's where I'm at right now. Just chilling with a jumbo tower fan pointed straight at me, trying to keep cool. Oh, but there's more. Also, I'm getting rid of my 980 GTX memory video card sometime soon. Would you like a donation? Yes, please. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a big step up. I've got a GTX 750 Ti, so that would be a big step up for me. Thank you so much, man. Then I can reinstall Doom 2016. Play that on my computer. That'll work on what I have now, but I've got to dumb the settings down quite a bit. So, that was the one game that I was like, I'm going to save this until I have a better way to play it. And then I ran into some issues playing Street Fighter V. Street Fighter V plays okay too. And I was able to get a lot of fun out of that one. But there were a couple of moments where I was like, man, I wish I could turn the graphics up just a wee bit. Eric, my man, thank you so much. I hope you're doing well, brother. Mega Menace writes, how does this video have no views, yet 2 thumbs up? It literally states no views next to the date under the video. You know, I know you're just taking a jab, but I'll tell you what. I'm sorry. I know having a bite on the air is like one of the biggest podcast no-nos, but I don't have any other choice. To answer your question, it's a trade secret what constitutes a view, okay? So, I don't know what percentage you have to watch in order to actually register as a view, but these are longer videos because, you know, it's a podcast or whatever. So, at least what I assume is happening is my average view time is like 10 to 15 minutes. People will click in, listen to a few minutes, sweet, the new TCR is up. Throw it a thumbs up and close it on out, and then listen to the rest, or later on, or not. But I think it's because nobody knows what constitutes a view or what does or what not. That's the best way I can give you a real answer to your question. Okay, and I know you got another one coming up. Alex Swingle writes, Konami Hypu Metal Gear Solid 2 was when I stopped because of the cutscenes and the terrible story. You know, I was able to hang in there with Metal Gear Solid 2. I felt a lot of disappointment playing that game, but I also really liked it at the same time. Metal Gear Solid 2 was a technological leap forward from the first one in a way that we didn't really see between 2 and 3. Right? MGS 2 and 3 were both released on the same system. I think they were even the same game engine, you know. 2 was a great big giant step forward for a game that was already legendary. So even though, yeah, I agree, the story was derpy, I played it when it was still hot. It was enough to keep me interested. Alex, brother, thanks for checking in, man. Hope you're doing good. Sip of black tea for Gaming Beast 82. Good old Sean. I've been meaning to roast Sean pretty hard for the past couple weeks. All in good fun. I hope you'll take it in the spirit in which it's given. But here's the deal. So the last time we all went to MagFest, Sean was there, and Hemrock was also there. And Sean and I went to like the chiptune open mic showcase. Now, the previous time I had been to MagFest, the chiptune space was like the highlight of the whole con for me. This was like an open mic showcase in the middle of the day. And I think there was like 4 people there. And they tried handing out glow sticks. And I got out my camera and was like filming around. And Sean had his glow stick that they gave him. And he just like stuck it up his nose or something. I've been meaning to cut that out and make like a 10 to 15 second video just entitled Sean is not into the rave. Sticking a glow stick up his nose or whatever he did with it. That'd be funny. I gotta go find that footage, though. That's good times. Sean writes, I love the teaser. Oh, yeah, he typed it twice. I love the teaser image for this episode. It looks like a CGA-style DOS game from way back. Talking about old games, if you got the time, we could discuss our wish list for GOG in a recording segment for TCR. Yes, absolutely. GOG has been pretty dry for actual good old games and has been focused on new releases. I do get it because of the licensing rights and issues with emulating old Windows-era games. Older games are harder to come by. GOG's wish list for games is still huge, but I get to give them props for bringing some big-name titles. Even if the emulators of the Castlevania and Contra games are bad, you can still now use a legal ROM with an emulator of your choice. I noticed the SNES emulators for officially released games on Steam and GOG are rarely good. But you can get the ROM, which is cool. Alright, let's try that again. Changing WAV files for old games was great. Worms 2 even had a built-in editor, so you could make your own silly voice packs for your worms. Me and my friends had a huge blast back in the day. I also remember changing the laser sound for a weird shareware space sim game way back when. Meh, I get you with Arx Fatalis. I guess it's not for everyone. However, I'm interested in doing that River City Steam Club. Would be fun to run some beat 'em ups for dead games. Yeah, man, absolutely. I loved the video game armor idea. I think Keith Apothecary, however you say that guy's name, did that with Virtual Boys at a con way back. I'll rob a bank and build my armor out of Neo Geos. Sure, I'll run a Virtual Warriors scenario right now. Hehe. I enjoy MagFest, but I'm okay if it isn't happening in 2021. And I'm super hyped for Tigerfest 20XX. I want to try to run one RPG session then. Tim Heidecker makes some great music for sure. He has and has access to your account. Lol. P.S. Question of the Beast. Would you guys want to make a podcast special where we get as many of the old and new crew together and talk about one topic? Would be great to do that. That is all. Mega Cactus. Yeah, man. Absolutely. How do we do that? We need to start writing emails and reaching out to people, which is very difficult to do for me. Can you engineer it? I occasionally share words with Jerry Terrifying, like once every few months or so on Twitter. I know he's still around. I see Shintai quite frequently on Twitter, and I see Kaiser as well. I keep in contact to the old gang apart from yourself is Sendu. Still checks in very frequently. But yeah, set it up, man. I want to do a thing just me and Sendu, and then I also want to do as many people as we can. If nothing else, let's do something. Let's get everybody together by proxy, an asynchronous type of thing where we kind of exchange clips and then mash it together or something somehow. But I miss the old gang. We had a lot of fun. That was from my college years, man. That was like a seminal time in my life. It was the transitional moment from being a blue collar worker to a white collar schmo. By the way, I'm eating oatmeal out of a coffee mug next to a coffee mug filled with black tea. So 2 coffee mugs tonight, 0 coffee. Oh yeah. Hope you're doing well, man. I'm sorry you didn't like the rave. Mecha Minutes writes, CGA graphics, Space Quest? By the way, you missed my comments from last TCR on where to find Minitroid. That's okay. I understand if you don't go to the studio, then to the comments tab, then check to see if they were caught in a spam filter. YouTube makes it a lot of work to communicate. Yeah. I remember reading it silently to myself, like a couple of days before recording, like around the time you actually left it. That's worth digging up, because I want to try Minitroid again, and it disappeared for a long time, so if there's a place to get it, I would be interested in seeing it. In terms of the thumbnail from last week, I got that from the internet. I don't know what game that is, but it sure looks awesome, doesn't it? I don't think that's Space Quest, because I've played the Space Quest games. At least 1 and 2, which are the only ones you'd find in CGA graphics like that, and that's definitely not Space Quest 1 or 2. So, I don't know. I really don't know. If anybody knows what game that is, let me know. I'll order you a cookie or something. Yeah, so let's see. If I don't do it right now, I'm not going to remember. So let me see if I can drop back. I found something called Pixeltroid. Hey CF, there's a link to Minitroid on this YouTube trailer vid. Okay, so I'm opening this YouTube trailer. And I've got to silence it because it's going to come through blistering loud. Actually, that's not too bad. So this is definitely the game. Oh yeah. Download the Minitroid tech demo here. So I'm going to click the link. I remember this link being broken because I've tried this before, but it's been years. I get a Wayback Machine link. Minitroid tech demo.zip. Let's see if it actually has the zip file. I doubt it. We'll try it. Oh, snap, it does. Oh, wow. It's weird to think that this is just a tech demo because oh, okay. Minitroid was a practice project to learn Construct Classic. This tech demo is a separate entity. The full game will not be continued. This is from 2011. What a gorgeous game. Oh my goodness. Well, my friend, thank you for that. I got that one downloaded. Let's drop that on the desktop. I haven't actually done a gaming video in a long time. That'd be a good video to make, just derping around in the Minitroid tech demo. Sip of black tea for Mecha Menace. Now I gotta find my way back to my channel comments. Yeah! Then we go way back up. Hope you're doing well, brother. I really do. Desm101, my good friend and partner in crime. I first played MGS2 on PS Vita, and I really enjoyed it. It took me a while to get into using Raiden, but by the end, even with all the confusing story elements, I was quite entertained. I still need to play through MGS 3, 4, and 5. Lol, since I own them all. You do? I know 3 is really good. I've never played 4 and 5. 3 is a good game that encroaches on way too much with the cutscenes, but it's still a good game despite that. Yeah, 3 is worth playing. Everybody likes the battle with the end. I hated that part. My older brother loved that battle. you play in a sniper match, boss fight against this really old man who's so old, if you save in the middle of the game and you leave your save file alone for 2 weeks, once the system clock reads that the save file is 2 weeks old, when you try and reload in the middle of the battle, the end has died of old age, and you don't have to fight the boss battle anymore. I didn't know that when I actually played through it, because I got stuck on that boss battle for quite some time. But good game, though. Let's see. Light Studios, Captain's Nog. Why is it harder to record when I'm home all day? No commute. Just drive around the block for half an hour a day. Call it Dad's private time. You know what? Not a bad idea. I'll go pitch that to the wife. I just got to break it up. That's the thing. It's a mistake to try and carve out one big block of time. It really worked well being broken up, and that's what I have to do to bring TCR back to peak functionality, is to achieve more a breaking up of the recording sessions. That, and I'm getting back into the what's new on the chiptune scene. I was involved in this Battle of the Bits contest a few weeks ago. Excuse me. Music of Late Capitalism. Basically, it was the Vaporwave competition at Battle of the Bits. And my song was the #1 listened to song. But I did not make it to the results table. So I don't yet know if I'm probably not going to be on the what do you call it? On the release when it comes out. If they do a Bandcamp release, I don't think I'll be on that track list. Which is, I don't know. It's a disappointment, man. I don't know why it matters to me, though. It shouldn't. But whatever. Whatever. Y'all don't know me. Alright. Where are we at now? 53 minutes in. You like that? Well, with that, boys and girls, it's time to close the chapter on another episode of Tiger Claw Radio. It's been a long time we've been doing these. Quite a long time. I didn't think when I started this... I started Tiger Claw Radio because I wanted to be able to continue making internet content through college when I didn't have the time to make videos. This was before I had any children. I had no idea that this was going to be quite as enduring as it has been. So, big thanks to everybody who still listens. Who, even if you're just checking in for a few minutes to hang out. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm sending you all the best wishes in the world. I'm really rooting for you. Make it a good week, alright? I'll see you next Monday.